Hello there. So today we are going to present a little history lesson for you. Today we are talking about legalism in China. Legalism started in China many years ago. Around 280 BCE, there was a man named Han Feizi. He would be the one to develop legalism in China with the thought that harsh punishment was the only way people would obey you. Legalism as a whole opposed Confucianism. He hated Confucianism so much that he described them as they prey like parasites among the body politic. It is not really known why Han Feizi hated Confucianism so much. Han Feizi believed that people would listen to strict law and cruel punishments if the law wasn't obeyed. He said that the nature of man is evil, his goodness is acquired, and that greed was the reason for most actions. He also said that a leader's greatest virtue was his strength. Han Feizi would continue to develop it even further. He also believed that a ruler must become invisible, have no desires, live a frugal life, and enforce all laws. When Han Feizi says these things, he truly believed that these were what legalist rulers must do to be fully successful and have a perfect life. However, the things in this list shouldn't be taken literally. It's saying that the ruler must live a simple, desire-free life, in which you focus most on the law and enforcing it. Legalism continued to exist in the background until 221 BCE. For many years, there were brutal wars and battles between the states, and it was thought that only harsh punishment and strict law could sort out the mess. Shang Yang, a Chinese scholar, believed that legalism was the solution during the warring period of time. At this point, Qin Shi Huangdi rose to power and unified China. He favored legalism far more than Confucianism, and he used legalism as his law and punishment system to retain control. For many years, he would go by this ideology and brutally punish people. When Qin Shi Huangdi died, the people were angry. They were angered at the ways of the Qin dynasty and how they gruesomely punished people. Later on, the Han dynasty would come to power and completely abandon legalism. Many people hated it, so they decided it would be best to just get rid of it. However, even though it's not practiced anymore, it still affects China today.
Legalism wasn't always the same as it was today. The Han Dynasty were the first to abandon legalism in favor of Confucianism because of the way Qin Shi Huangdi used it. Today, some people still practice Confucianism. However, legalist rules are still followed. For example, in 213 BCE, Qin Shi Huangdi ordered the burning of hundreds of books on Confucianism. This mirrors how China today uses censorship to block certain things in order to maintain control over the population. The government put up the Great Firewall to censor topics like democracy. Everything you send is automatically recorded by the government, making it impossible to send private messages. Sending messages that may offend China can land you in jail and you can end up paying heavy fines. Legalism made you obey and believe in your ruler, and if you said something bad about them, you would get a harsh punishment. Today is no different. Things like drunk driving can land you up to 30 years in prison, and that's if you survive. If someone catches you saying something bad about the president, this can also get you into serious trouble. Even posting something minuscule that's not deemed worthy of the Chinese censorship policy can lead to 3 years of jail minimum. By having a system of brutal punishments, this government can easily control the population through fear, which was the number one goal since Qin Shi Huangdi started it. The need for order was more important than anything else. It was no different back in legalist times.
Although legalism is not prominently used in China today, some ideas that follow legalistic rules are still in use. Under the presidency of Xi Jinping, there have been several reports of legalistic ruling. He is known for his promotion, the Chinese Dream. While advertising this, he has quoted Han Feizi, the creator of legalism, many times during these speeches. While the Chinese Dream is noted as something good, when looked into deeply, you can find the legalist ideal. It talks of how the worker should be perfect and counted on rather than the political leaders themselves. Similarly, in legalism, the people should do everything and they are rewarded or punished based on that, while the leader tells the people what to do. They do not actually do any of the work. Xi Jinping has even been voted in as president for life, which shows how he is slowly trying to make him the most important as ruler to order the people. While the Chinese president is not recognized as a legalist ruler, he is subtly influenced by legalistic ideas. There have also been recently discovered documents that are structured exactly like a legalist document and contain ideas very similar to Han Feizi with a modern take on it. Furthermore, a new social credit system has been hoped to put in place. This system follows your every move and scores you based on that. The government will look at everything you do, from traffic violations to how much you spend at a store. They will score you after looking at these activities, which could essentially determine your privileges. If you have a low score, there is a chance you could lose certain privileges such as high internet speed, access to 5-star restaurants, the ability to buy plane and train tickets, go to nightclubs, certain schools, have government positions, and even dating apps. If you have a high score, you could be rewarded with things like discounts in heating and better terms with loans. It is possible to pay a fine to get a violation off your record, and this could be useful to gain a higher score. With legalism being the practice of rewards and punishments, we see that clearly used with the social credit system. While the system has not been put in place yet, it is anticipated to be in order by 2020.
In legalism, there are two philosophical ideas, one of them being human nature. Shang Yang once said that people can be governed because they have things that they love and hate. Because of this, the government created laws to manipulate human behavior, which are still used today. For example, as mentioned before, the social credit system will punish people by taking away certain privileges for low scores, and will reward people by giving certain privileges for high scores. This makes sure that people stay in order and don't commit any crimes. The government also has laws on government officials, which are still used today. For instance, on April 7th, 2019, new laws were put into place to evaluate officials. The laws provided punishments and rewards based off of the evaluation scores, which were determined by morality, work conduct, capability, work integrity, and performance. The social credit system represents the legalistic ideas that the majority of people are selfish and greedy, so they will be on their best behavior to get the extra privileges. The legalistic ideas also say that this selfishness and greediness can't be overcome by education or self-improvement, hence all of the strict laws in place today. Lastly, the legalistic beliefs say that human selfishness is an asset to the ruler because the ruler would be able to get everybody on his side by offering the things that they want. Chinese presidents still use this today to get the National People's Congress to vote for them. Not only that, but Mao Zedong also used the promise to give people what they want. This would eventually lead large masses to vote for the party, but in the end, led people to revolt against Mao Zedong. So, basically from ancient times until now, legalism has used laws that punish and reward people to control them based on their one principle, which is to avoid being punished while trying to achieve the gains. Goodbye, and I hope that you've all have learned a thing or two about legalism. We hope that you've enjoyed our video that we have put together for you.